Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about compositional devices. So a compositional device are techniques that composers use to create, develop, manipulate and enhance their musical ideas. I like to think of it as like a composer's toolbox. Remember, a lot of our composers were paid by the bar, so they really wanted to get the most out of a melody that they could. We're going to use this as our original melody today, and we're going to explore how we can change it using different compositional devices. Our original melody is in the key of G major, and it begins and ends on the tonic, and it rises all the way up to the dominant. Our first device is called a sequence. A melodic sequence is a pattern of notes that is repeated at a different pitch. For this example, we're going to take our very first bar of the melody, and we're going to use that and sequence it up a tone each time. If you have a look at our sequenced melody, it starts on G, then the second bar starts on A, then the third bar starts on B. Each time it rises up by a tone and the intervals remain the same as the beginning. At the end of the third bar, we have a different interval than what we've had before, indicating the end of our sequence and allowing the composer to return to the original key without doing any harmonic acrobatics. Our next one is called inversion, referring to intervals, chords and melodic patterns that can be turned and played upside down. We mentioned that our original melody starts on G and goes all the way up to D, 5 notes above, or the dominant. When we invert a melody, we take the same intervals, but rather than ascending, if they're ascending, we descend with them. So have a look at the inverted theme underneath. It falls all the way down to a C, which is of course a fifth below. This melody has been inverted. It still starts and finishes on the G, just like our original melody, but the intervals have been flipped over. Imitation is the repetition of a melody, phrase, or idea by a different voice or instrument. This is probably one of the most common compositional devices you'll see, particularly in the Mozart symphony that we're studying. Here, we've done a simple harmonization and arranged it for flute and piano. Our original melody appears in the flute line in its full entirety, and then in the piano, in the right hand, in the second bar, we imitate it. We've got the melody at the same key in this case, so that you guys can really understand what imitation is. Have a listen, see if you can hear it. Those ones are the easy ones. Now we've got augmentation. Augmentation is the lengthening of the duration of all notes in a melody by the same factor. So for example, doubling. Here, our original melody is 4 bars long. It starts with a crotchet followed by a series of quavers. If we augment a crotchet, it becomes 2 beats long, a minim, and then we augment our quavers into crotchets. You'll notice the augmented theme is now 8 bars long, as opposed to 4 in our original melody. And finally, diminution. Or diminution, or however you want to say it, it's up to you. It's the shortening of the duration of all the notes in a melody by the same factor. So for example, halving. In our original melody, again, 4 bars long, we start with a crotchet and quavers, and if we halve them, they turn into quavers and semiquavers. Our diminished theme is now 2 bars long instead of 4. That's a basic understanding of the different compositional devices. When you have a look at your set works, make sure you actually think about how they're being used. The Mozart contains a lot of imitation. It contains a lot of sequencing. See if you can identify it for yourself.